Thank you, Alex. And again, happy Walz Wednesday. So it is halftime in our convention week. So what better time than tonight for Coach Walz to accept his party's nomination for Vice President of the United States. Let's talk about what we've seen in the first half of this convention so far. The American people are seeing a split screen between Vice President Kamala Harris, who's fighting for the middle class, and Donald Trump, who's too obsessed with himself to actually care. Throughout the convention, we're hearing about Kamala Harris's vision for a new way forward that includes economic opportunity, lower costs, and more freedoms, while Trump is making a mess of his return to the campaign trail, talking about ripping away our freedoms, jacking up taxes and costs on the middle class, and dragging us backwards. Yesterday, voters saw Trump refuse to condemn white supremacists who marched in his name. He lied about his support for defunding the police. He ignored the lives that were lost on January 6th. As the vice president called out in her remarks last night, on Monday, Trump told CBS News that he had no regrets about overturning Roe. Meanwhile, on our convention stage, Amanda and Josh Zarowski, Caitlin Joshua, and Hadley Duvall shared their powerful stories and the real-life consequences of Trump's actions with audiences across the country. But this convention isn't just about the speeches. It's another way we're cementing the choice that the American people will face this November. Every day this week, Americans are seeing that stark choice before them. Trump's dangerous Project 2025 agenda versus Kamala Harris's optimistic, future-focused vision. And while Trump sows chaos and division, doubling down on his greatest losing hits, I cannot emphasize this enough. This will be a very close election. And this campaign isn't wasting any time talking to the voters that will decide this election. It's why Vice President Harris and Governor Walz campaigned yesterday in front of 15,000 voters in Wisconsin, and while we're using the convention as an opportunity to engage and reach new voters. Look no further than what we've done the past few days. We told you yesterday about the work that we did leading up to the convention. Team Harris-Walz held a weekend of action, over 2,800 events in the battleground states, 10,000 volunteers, making 900,000 phone calls, knocking on almost 150,000 doors for a grand total of over 1 million voter contacts the weekend leading into the convention. So we're building on that momentum this week already. We've launched tools for volunteers to get involved with our campaign, hold trainings, empowering volunteers to organize in their own communities. Today, we will hold the biggest night of phone banking for the entire campaign. We're going to be hosting 400 phone banks across the battlegrounds with over 4,000 volunteers who are making calls as our next Vice President, Tim Walz, takes the stage tonight. And then again tomorrow night, as Vice President Harris accepts the Democratic nomination for President of the United States, we'll host 500 watch parties across all 50 states. Because in this campaign, these are not just made for TV moments. These are critical opportunities to talk directly to the voters who are going to decide this election. And so while the energy inside the United Center has been unprecedented, our energy isn't just in the crowds. It's in the work that we're doing to win. It's work that Donald Trump's campaign couldn't care less about, whether he's in Bedminster or Mar-a-Lago or on Truth Social. And it's the work that will send Vice President Harris and Governor Walz to the White House this November. So with that,